Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
The property of holding together and retaining its shape. When the dough has enough consistency, it is ready to bake. A harmonious uniformity or agreement among things or parts. Logical coherence and accordance with the facts. A rambling argument that lacked any consistency. Logic. An attribute of a logical system that is so constituted that none of the propositions deducible from the axioms contradict one another. The property of holding together and retaining its shape. Wool has more body than rayon. A resonating chamber in a musical instrument, as the body of a violin. Invest with or as with a body. Give body to. The entire physical structure of an organism, an animal, plant, or human being. He felt as if his whole body were on fire. The body excluding the head and neck and limbs. A natural object consisting of a dead animal or person. They found the body in the lake. A collection of particulars considered as a system. A body of law. A group of persons associated by some common tie or occupation and regarded as an entity. The whole body filed out of the auditorium. An individual three-dimensional object that has mass and that is distinguishable from other objects. Heavenly body. The central message of a communication. The body of the message was short. The external structure of a vehicle. The body of the car was badly rusted. The main mass of a thing. The property of holding together and retaining its shape. A harmonious uniformity or agreement among things or parts. The property of holding together and retaining its shape. Considerable capital, wealth or income. The idea that is intended. What a communication that is about something is about. The choicest or most essential or most vital part of some idea or experience. A particular kind or species of matter with uniform properties. Shigella is one of the most toxic substances known to man. Material of a particular kind or constitution. The immune response recognizes invading substances. The real physical matter of which a person or thing consists. DNA is the substance of our genes. A construct whereby objects or individuals can be distinguished. Self-confidence is not an endearing property. Any movable articles or objects used on the set of a play or movie. Something owned. Any tangible or intangible possession that is owned by someone. That had as my property. Any area set aside for a particular purpose. The president was concerned about the property across from the White House. A basic or essential attribute shared by all members of a class. The quality of lacking diversity or variation, even to the point of boredom. A condition in which everything is regular and unvarying. The quality of lacking diversity or variation, even to the point of boredom. The state of cohering or sticking together. Logical and orderly and consistent relation of parts. The state of cohering or sticking together. Botany. The process in some plants of parts growing together that are usually separate, such as petals. Physics. The intermolecular force that holds together the molecules in a solid or liquid. The property of being cohesive and sticky. The state of cohering or sticking together. The state of cohering or sticking together. Logical and orderly and consistent relation of parts. Correct and valid reasoning. Correct and valid reasoning. The consistency of something that breaks under pressure. The quality of being indistinct and without sharp outlines. The quality of weather that is deliciously mild and soothing. The climate had the softness of the south of France. Acting in a manner that is gentle and mild and even-tempered. Suddenly her gigantic power melted into softness for the baby. The trait of being effeminate, derogatory of a man. He was shocked by the softness of the atmosphere surrounding the young prince, arising from the superfluity of the femininity that guided him. Poor physical condition. Being out of shape or out of condition, as from a life of ease and luxury. A disposition to be lenient in judging others. Softness is not something permitted of good leaders. A sound property that is free from loudness or stridency. And in softness almost beyond hearing. A state of declining economic condition. Orders have recently picked up after a period of extreme softness. A visual property that is subdued and free from brilliance or glare. The softness of the morning sky. The property of giving little resistance to pressure and being easily cut or molded. The quality of being solid and reliable financially or factually or morally. The solidity of the evidence worked in his favor. The consistency of a solid state of having the interior filled with matter. The quality of being substantial or having substance. The state in which a substance has no tendency to flow under moderate stress, resists forces, such as compression, that tend to deform it, and retains a definite size and shape. The quality of being solid and reliable financially or factually or morally. The solidness of her faith gave her enduring hope. The consistency of a solid. Used of a line or mark. Indistinct articulation. Judging from the thickness of his speech, he had been drinking heavily. Resistance to flow. The dimension through an object as opposed to its length or width. Relatively small dimension through an object as opposed to its length or width. The thinness of a rope. The property of having little body fat. The property of being scanty or scattered, lacking denseness. The property of being very narrow or thin. A consistency of low viscosity. He disliked the thinness of the soup. A consistency of something that does not break under pressure. The property of being porous, being able to absorb fluids. The property of being porous, being able to absorb fluids. Resistance of a liquid to shear forces, and hence to flow. Resistance of a liquid to shear forces, and hence to flow. Devoid of passion or feeling, hard-heartedness. Excessive sternness. The quality of being difficult to do. He assigned a series of problems of increasing hardness. A quality of water that contains dissolved mineral salts that prevent soap from lathering. The costs of reducing hardness depend on the relative amounts of calcium and magnesium compounds that are present. The property of being rigid and resistant to pressure, not easily scratched, measured on mass scale. Having the consistency of a gas. A system of reasoning. Reasoned and reasonable judgment. It made a certain kind of logic. The branch of philosophy that analyzes inference. The principles that guide reasoning within a given field or situation. Economic logic requires it. The system of operations performed by a computer that underlies the machine's representation of logical operations.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.